Hello everyone and welcome to another Java tutorial. My name is Matt the Tutor and today we'll be going over file reading. Now file reading is very important when it comes to text documents that are very uniform, such as this. Whoops. Let's say you have a number of people, right? Let's say 1, 2, 3 through 1,000 and they want you to print out all these names, right? And put them into, I don't know, an array or something. It will be very tedious, but with file reading using the scanner class, it will make reading and getting all these numbers and names very easy. So let's get started with that. So the first thing we want to do is we first want to get our file name. So let's do this. So string file name equals, and normally you'll be tempted to just do this the users and then whatever your name is, but that's not how it works in Java. In Java, to have a forward slash, you have to do forward slash or backslash and then backslash again, because in essence this equals C backslash C backslash. It's just a special character, just something you need to remember. So in that case, what you're going to do is you're going to, wherever you saved your notepad or folder or whatever, you're going to get it and copy and paste it into the file. So if I recall here, this was my, whoops. C // users, that, and okay, so it's just in documents documents, and then your file name, file reading dot txt, and end that with a cool semicolon. So now the next thing you're going to do is you're going to make a path, right? Path equals paths dot get our file name, and that's pretty much it. Don't worry about the args, you don't need any of that. So Alt Enter and import. Alright, so once you have that, you're going to do scanner, which scanner allows you to take input from yourself or input from something else. So you're going to do scanner in equals new scanner, and then you're going to put your path, which pretty much just converts into a way that scanner can read it. Add import. New scanner. Am I forgetting something? Oh yeah, sorry, fail. Because you're using a path, you have to, this thing throws an IO exception, which basically means, oh, it wasn't able to read the path. Exception. So a lot of stuff you have to import. Alright, so once you have done that, what we're going to do is we want a delimiter, which basically helps the scanner say, okay, what's the next thing? What's the thing that's gonna separate your values that you want from everything else? So you see here we have an integer, we have a space, and then we have our name, and then a new character, or a new line return. So that's pretty much what we're going to do. Fail. We're going to do in dot use the lim. Oh well, I mean, yeah, I mean you don't necessarily need a found exception. So use the limiter, and pretty much this is how delimiters work. So let me just copy this so that way you guys can have it. So we're going to do this. We're going to do backslash backslash s plus, and that has to be in parentheses. So it's pretty much saying when you have a backslash s, it's any white space, right? But this is any non-white space character. But we want to separate via white spaces, and the plus is one or more repetitions. So no matter how many times there's a here, no matter if there's multiple spaces here, it will check one, oh, space, 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 oh, not anymore, Matthew. So once you have that, I believe it's pretty good. So you're going to do this. Now we need a while loop to check if, as you're going through the file, if there's still stuff, if there's still a next character. So while in dot has next, meaning there's a next character or next token, we're going to do this. We're going to do name system .9 name, and we're going to do next well, number, let's just do number, then in dot next int, and then we're going to do a new line with a new tab, name, and then in dot next, that's pretty much it, next, which means it's going to get a number, and then whatever comes after, it could be a string, it could be another integer, it could be pretty much anything. So now let's see if we run this, hopefully we don't get any errors. Here we go. So as you saw, number 1 name Matthew, number 2 name Mike, number 3 name John, 4 so on and so forth. So that's pretty much a very simple if statement, very simple reading a file, and that's pretty much how you do it. This is hopefully a very short tutorial. It's only like 7 minutes. So pretty much you do / or it doesn't matter, you could just do yeah, it has to start with a backslash. Then you can do either ABC 1 2 3. Now what happens if we just do this? Number next int. Well, it's going to look for every occurrence of number. Well, the thing is, it says next int, but it's not reading the next occurrence. It's just saying if it has a next thing after that. So you want to do dot next, so that way it reads it. But if you do has in dot next has next line, then maybe this might work. Nope, that does not work. So I don't work much with files, but I thought that it was just very simple, like that you can be able to do this, because or you can just do this system.out.println in dot line, and let's just do that. So maybe if we run that, we should get has next line. So the thing is that it only works because of the pattern. We're finding a pattern of white spaces. So when it finds a white space, it pretty much just ends there, just reads if it has the next integer. So if we just do that, maybe this probably ain't gonna work. Nope. So we do in dot maybe this will work. It will return the next token. So yep. So in dot next, which is kind of what I did. So if you just want numbers, then or names, just do this. Number sorry, int number equals in dot next int, meaning we're always going to be finding what the next integer is, right? And but we're still having other tokens, so we have to read through those as well. So we know they're either string or a number. It doesn't matter. Well, yeah, actually it will be a string, and then we can turn the next. If we know it's an integer and then it's a string, then we can just do this. Int s equals in dot then whatever the next token is, and then we can just do that, and we just run. Oh, fail. Number, and it just reads number 1 2 3 4 because it reads what s is, but it's not doing anything with it. The reason is because in dot next yeah, it has to read if it's a token. New line spaces don't have tokens. It's just reading like if we do a let's do boolean tf equals that, and then let's do system.out.println tf tf, and this hopefully will tell us true. So this is true. Now what happens if we do this without the next line? It runs true once because it has the next line, but after that it doesn't read anything else. So I'm gonna assume that we're going to maybe see if we can do this. This returns the IO exception. So a complete token is preceded and followed by input that matches the limiter pattern. So the limiter pattern is just looking for a space or multiple spaces. That's why it's that's how it's splitting everything up. But we can't just do int dot next int because it's going to print out like what is this? It's not doing anything. So even though you do need the dot next int because that's going to go and put in what the next one in that array was. You can't just do next int because it's just pretty much saying, oh, if the next thing is true, hence you get an input mismatch exception. it's going to say, oh, that next thing isn't an integer, so it gives you an error. So that's why you have to make sure you go through all your delimiters and make sure that you're still, even though you're not using it, you still have to call it up, so that way you're assigning that next token, you're getting that next token out of the way. So yeah, that's pretty much it. But yeah, you have to make, yeah, I know I spent like 5 minutes just trying to find it another way out around it, but pretty much I'm guessing you just have to make sure that you have all your delimiters. So as you see, it says false because there's nothing after that name. This is coming after the name. It doesn't have anything else. It's saying true because after the first line, it is true. It can do something. But if we do this, it's probably going to print true, huh? Yeah, it has something else, but like you still have to do next, so that way it moves to the next one. What happens if we do this? String cannot be converted to, oh, because it's returning wherever it wrote to a string. Next int. Hence why next is reading strings, and why it's saying if you do next int scans the next token of input as an integer. Oh, that's why, because it's saying, oh, this is the value I'm reading isn't an integer, it's a string, hence a mismatch thing. Now we do int s equals next int. The thing why that doesn't work as well is because it's reading the names, right? So it's saying, okay, we have a next integer, but if we do what is the next integer, right? It's gonna say Matthew, and that's gonna say input mismatch exception because Matthew isn't an integer, it's a string. Hence why we need that dot next to just read whatever is the next token. You see? Because if we just have int and then int, it's going to give us a mismatch error. But if we have an int and then dot next, it's just going to read whatever is next as a string, which includes integers. Integers can be strings. Strings, on the other hand, may not be able to be integers. Now that may be a bit confusing, but pretty much you can just do this. Wow, crap, that's a lot of code. Pretty much you can do this. String numbers equals, that's in string. It can also be turned into an integer, but it's a string, like one apple, right? That can be turned into an integer, at least this part. But when it says, oh, input mismatch, because it's reading what you're having, right? The next token, it's always reading what the next token or the next word is based off the delimiter, because it's saying one. Oh, there's a space. Okay, so it's just one. Look for the next occurrence of when it's not a space. Oh, M. Okay, keep going, keep going, keep going. Okay, stop. So Matthew is the next thing. 2. Okay, so that's pretty much how the in dot has next or next integer or whatnot works out as. So yeah, I know this was a bit long, but I guess that's pretty much how it works out to. So thanks for watching. Hope you guys have a fantastic day. Please share and please subscribe.